Together we'll conquer, no limits apply. Eclipse rising, shining so bright. With delusion leading, we'll conquer the night. Together we stand, in battles we fight. In EMU dark Epoch, our future is right.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am Delusions, and we are back in our final arena as ENE that I'm hoping for. Still just waiting on one more advanced barrier crystal, and then we can go through and boost this up to the next tier. And then at that point, it will be ENEDL making a big return. Have a lot of great plans for that. But as always, accompanying me today is going to be Shepard and Kratos, and they are going to be assisting me in trying to pull through on some wins going into the arena today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get buffed up here. And then we are going to dive straight in to the arena. As you can see, we're in third place. So let's go ahead and face off against Mr. Porter Bass, who has made a lot of big changes going into today alone, really. So we are going to see how much of an impact that is going to make for us, and if we are even going to be able to contend with what Porter has to offer today. And I've got to say, some of these fights with Porter have just been, the longest ones that just take forever to finish. And I love that about this class, especially when you're going up against some of these other ENEDKs, just because there is so much that can happen in a short amount of time during that first round, and even rounds after that, depending on how they are set up. Um, as you can see, I didn't move around a whole lot throughout that fight, and the reason being behind that is because I'm trying to go through and do some testing, which I made a huge mistake just now by jumping in and not buffing myself before facing off against MJH, which we all know that this is probably going to end up in a loss for myself, but still yet we're going to go through, and we are going to try to pull out some sort of win on here. I know that MJH has made a lot of improvements with his overall gameplay, and even throughout his corpse battles that he's been going through have been just really, really fun to watch. As have ours. We've been able to progress quite a bit too. But I don't think that we have made it to the point to where we are at that threshold of being able to take out him on every single round, and which is unfortunate as it may be. That's just part of the game. We're never going to be truly the king, because again, there's always going to be a bigger fish in the pond. But with that being said, let's go ahead and try to spin this a little bit more in our favor. If we could just get a few more. Oh wow, we actually pulled through on a win on there. What a crazy turn of events. But essentially, yeah, we want to make sure that we're able to go into an engagement, fully prepared, especially when you're knowing that you're going to be paired off with, the likes of Porter or MJH or even Knight. I don't know if you guys have remember this guy. You should. He's the the crazy ENE Dark Lord user that has just recently made the big switch over to ENE Elf, which I am very curious to see how this plays out for him. Because again, I've heard great things about Elf, um, and I think that he's got a good chance of making a lot of things happen for him. I think it's just going to get to that stage to where he's comfortable with the build, making sure that, he is understanding his rotations. And then again, I'm going to have to do the same thing because I'm not ENE Elf yet. But we were able to go ahead and take the first and second rounds on this, which is going to bump us up to a new tier and is going to put us in the silver tier, which with this comes along with some nice little rewards, which we'll go ahead and take a look at. Little ring upgrade just to kind of spice things up, and then we'll come out and we'll take a look. So we've got a intermediate benediction along with 200 battle coins, which can never get enough of those, especially since we are trying to go through and get that last advanced benediction to finish out this barrier. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and test out against Hensley, which is a ENE elf that is a part of my server and my guild. See how well he has been progressing. And we'll go through, and looks like we are able to take that first round pretty easily. Have no doubts that we'll come through and take that second round as well. But the nice thing is now that we're in Corpse, these elves are going to be doing just some massive amounts of damage, which is kind of prompting, my switch over to ENE Dark Lord, and when it was finally that push over the edge to be able to make sure that I was able to be able to provide enough damage on some of these bosses, and the way that some of these mechanics work, so that I could, better support and assist my guild, as well as my corpse. Um, because again, this is a whole new thing for all of us, and we're all trying to figure out how we need to do this to be able to survive fully. Um, but yeah, so far, I mean, it's been really fun. Um, I've been able to make some good friends, made some new builds that should be coming out soon, that I have worked with some people on, for all of you Strength Dark Knight users. I know you'll be very happy for this, since I haven't had a Strength Dark Knight of my own. I figured, take an opportunity to help somebody else, and in the process maybe do a little exchange for some screenshots of how they set everything up after we talked it through. So again, very excited to be able to bring all of that to you guys. Again, the compendium, my full game guide is still under works. It seems like anytime that I get ready to call it quits and hang the hat up, and call it done, um, something else pops up that I need to cover. So again, I appreciate all of the patience on this. It is coming, I promise, and just want to make sure that when I do push it out, that it covers the majority of everything that anybody is going to be asking, as well as makes it easier for those that are trying to pinpoint certain things to be able to go straight to that, learn everything about it, pick up some knowledge. I'm trying to incorporate a couple videos into some of these things to better help with some of the questions that are more commonly asked. Um, but again, if you've got any information that you would like for me to cover, please leave that in the comments, because it's easy for me to go out and say, hey, look, this is what you need to focus on. But if you've got something that you're dealing with in the background that I don't know about, I'm never going to be able to help you unless you let me know. But as we start rolling through here, we've got 3 more arena matches left. We also have Fleming Edma, that has just recently switched over to ENE Dark Lord and has noticed a tremendous change in their playstyle. So kudos and congratulations to you, Flem, on getting this class set up. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen over time, throughout different arena videos, that anytime I get matched up with Fleming, it is usually very, very quick to go ahead and take down now that he has converted over to an ENE Dark Lord. As you can see, he's able to hang in there quite a bit. Obviously not enough to really contend with the likes of me, and that's no offense to them at all. But, it is a step in the right direction in being able to overcome some of these challenges that you were facing previously. Here is another ENE elf, which would love to have in my corpse, but throughout different times of trying to reach out, just haven't been able to land a good meeting with them to kind of discuss some things. But ENE Elf is such a powerful class. They have a lot going for them with the Reflect and being able to do just massive amounts of PvE and boss damage. So for any of you that are really looking into getting better and more involved in Corpse, this is one class that you will really want to put on your team to be able to kind of support you and bring you over the edge and see you through to that next victory. But with that, this should be our last fight here going up against Pandarina. Again, I'm starting to see more and more of these elves pop up, and I'm still kind of salty that I haven't been able to get a class change card yet. But I haven't given up hope though. Still holding out for my very own, which should be coming shortly after I turn level 701, make it through this class change. And though I would never tell anybody not to play ENE Dark Knight, I personally have, felt that I've grown through the majority of what I needed to do, what I came to do, and I showed up, I conquered, and now it's time to go back to something a little bit more familiar and be able to bring you guys some more exciting content covering that. Now, I could, at this moment, probably turn around and use some of these arena cards to catch up to a little bit on MJH, but I think I'm going to turn and I'm going to hold back for now and just be able to kind of hold on to those for a rainy day. Should MJH come through and lose to me, which I do not believe that he will. Again, he's got that Phoenix working for him. He's been able to participate in a lot of these events as well, so I know that he's going to be prepared and ready to go. But with that, guys, I can't thank you all enough for continuing with your support on these videos and reaching out to me and asking your questions, seeking that higher knowledge, and just for general feedback and for me, works wonders. It helps me to kind of prioritize where I need to be focusing my time with these videos, as well as what I need to be adding into the compendium. Um, but with that, I am Delusions, and I'm out. Thanks, guys.
So raise your sword high, let's claim our fame. With every boss fallen, we'll carve our name.